I'm the chair of our chapter. Welcome to Power Hour. No frills, no networking, not even coffee. But 168 of you are here today because we want the information. Affordability, affordable living, and affordable housing is top of mind in our city. With 2.5 billion people moving back to cities across the world over the next 30 years, it's top of mind in many cities. Today we have some experts on affordability with us, and we're going to learn about Under One Roof 2029. And again, no frills. I pass the mic to Rose for a couple of announcements.
And in the keeping of no frills, get down to business, even Rose will be short this morning. So I promise. And in fact, I will be pulling back on emails for the next month because we will take the month of July, off of programming. But I will be sending you emails on 3 things, and that's just what I want to call to your attention. One is the committees and initiatives ULI Nashville has for our members to get engaged in. It's a wide variety designed to meet the different needs of our various diverse members. So keep your eye out for those emails of the committees you can choose to get involved in. The other email I'll be sending out, sponsors, our 2019 sponsors. You hear me say it every time, but it's important enough for me to repeat every time. We could not at ULI Nashville do anything without the generous support of our sponsors. So please acknowledge and recognize our 2019 sponsors. They really beat our expectations, and we are very appreciative of that support. And I did have a nice new slideshow to show you, but we had a technical glitch, so we're going to go old school on the posters today. Thirdly, the third email I will be sending as we take down on our programming for July is our fiscal year 20 calendar. So while we don't offer programs in July, we're opening back up in August with a bang. We'll have about 4 different programs, members only, for our members to choose from. Y'all have diverse interests in what you want to get out of ULI Nashville, what you find value in of what we can offer you. So, for example, today's program, we are offering more and more different types, scopes, scales, and depth of content. So I will be sending out that fiscal year 20 calendar. It will have save the dates of some key programming, the awards, emerging trends in real estate, our holiday party, and August will include our chair's celebration as Mark Deutschman passes on his chairperson baton to Kim Hawkins. We're so fortunate to have Kim as the incoming chair. Fiscal year 20, our programming is really going to all be about building a diverse city. So what a better way to end fiscal year 19, laying the groundwork with today's program on Under One Roof. We can all learn about it, and then we'll be teed up and ready to go on all the lessons we'll be learning throughout fiscal year 20. So with that, I'd like to introduce Hunter Nelson with Elmington Capital. And Hunter's bio, along with Matt Wilshire's bio and Jim Harbison's bio, are on the back of your agenda. Please do read those because we are so fortunate to have that expertise with us today. Hunter, thanks for moderating.
Thanks, Rose. Again, my name is Hunter Nelson. I'm with a Nashville-based development firm called Elmington Capital here, who has a small niche in affordable housing here in town. I've had the distinct pleasure today of introducing 2 men who really need no introduction. If you don't know Jim or Matt, you haven't been in Nashville for very long. So I've been fortunate enough to have partnered with Jim several times, actually starting probably in 2012 when you were still with HUD. He approved an affordable housing rehab project in Antioch called Hickory Lake, right on the corner of Haywood Lane and I-24. It was a difficult deal in which his staff really didn't want to support it, but Jim said, hey, this is a great project. We're going to move forward. I commit to you. We're going to get it done. And ever since then, he's been getting it done in Nashville. So I think all of us are very excited to hear what's coming down the pipe with Under One Roof 2029. And again, we're going to hear first from Jim, Executive Director of MDHA, and through all the work that they're doing. And then Matt Wilshire, and your new role is, I'm going to try to get this right, Chief Strategy and Intergovernmental Affairs Officer. There we go. Okay. And then lastly, we'll have some Q&A just to open it up to talk about how this affects our business and how this affects Nashville. So, Jim.
Thank you, Hunter. Good morning. On behalf of Charles Robert Bone, our board chairman, and Commissioner Thaden, Emily Thaden is here, one of our commissioners. Thank you for allowing us to speak to you this morning. I just want to highlight a couple other people. Buck, if you'd raise your hand, it's our Chief Operating Officer, and for you in the audience, more importantly, Chief Development Officer of MDHA, and Matt's been introduced. We've got a lot to cover. I was in front of you in April of 2016, thanks to Jimmy Granberry, and we covered a thing called Rental Assistance Demonstration, RAD, which is the underpinning of what we're going to talk about today. I won't spend a lot of time on that because we're done, but if you recall, you may not because you get lots of presentations, what I talked about was leaving behind the public housing model established under the 1937 Federal Housing Act and moving to a different model of subsidized federal housing for the very low income called project-based rental assistance. And the key parts of that transfer was the federal government would give MDHA $2 billion worth of land in the heart of Nashville, 780 acres, fee simple title transfer at no cost. And we would take a 20-year contract to run that, in which the contracts are increased in value at 50 basis points above the rate of inflation every year. Pretty good deal if you know anything about what public housing means, which has none of those characteristics. That transfer is complete. It's the underpinning of what we're going to talk about today. It's a game changer for us, a game changer for Nashville. And I would just want to leave you with a couple thoughts before I turn it over to Mike, turn the mic over to Matt. This under one roof is powerful. It's real, and it's gutsy. We talk about visions and decisiveness. This program is both, and it's got the underpinnings of real finance, real possibilities, real opportunities. It is not just a bunch of PowerPoint slides. And that's the first thought. Second thought, every person in this room has the chance to participate in it, and since you're all commercial people, to make money. Many of you, I see architects and constructors right now, are doing so now. And for the developers, we'll finish up with what we think is going to be probably the next big signature development for the city, right at the corner of Shelby and 5th Street. It's the gateway to East Nashville. And that will be a public-private partnership where the private developer will develop the entire site. That's probably the big news on the reveal. So with that, we'll start now with the presentation. And Matt, off to you.
Good morning. Good morning. There we go. There we go. A little call and response. Great to be with you. I'm going to zoom quickly through sort of some context about sort of where we are in terms of pricing, some information this audience is probably pretty familiar with, then talk about under one roof briefly, and then turn it back to Jim to do a deeper dive on the Envision program that MDHA is undertaking. So you all know this information probably, but effectively housing prices have doubled over the last 9 years. The median sale price for a home has gone from $154,000 to $306,000 in Davidson County. Over that same time period, rent for a 2-bedroom apartment has gone from $872 a month to $1,536. And there's an interesting thing, supply and demand really does work. You all who are in the multifamily business know that a lot of product came online in 17, and look, the prices came down a little bit, but then as the absorption took up, prices began to rise again. So that is a need in our city, to have more affordable housing. But what is the exact numbers that we need? And this report that was released in 2017 provides a little bit of a data point, but it's led, I think, to some misleading information, which is why we want to talk about it here. So this slide essentially talks about what's the demand, number of people who are looking for housing on either the owned side or the rental side by income level. So do you make less than 30% of the median household income, 30 to 60, et cetera? And this was the data from a report released in 2017, but based on 2015 data. Out of that report, it projected what the city would look like in 2025. And this is the number that most of the press and others pick up on, which is that we have a deficit of 31,000 units in the rental side, where demand exceeds supply for folks making between less than 60% of median household income. That has translated into a lot of press reports saying Nashville needs to build 31,000 units of affordable housing. But the other important data point here is that the supply and the demand are projected to be evenly balanced. And that's probably not a reasonable assumption, but it does suggest that if we were to build 31,000 units of housing for folks making less than 60% of median household income, we would actually have 31,000 more units than we actually need in Nashville, creating a supply-demand imbalance. And so really it's about distribution of that housing as much as adding to the supply. In fact, there are 50,000 people projected to have more supply than there is demand for the 60 to 120 of median household income. Now, the reality is that these numbers are dynamic, and the better we do at creating affordable housing, the more people who are going to want to move here, and then we're going to have an imbalance again. And so this isn't a, hey, here's a point, we have to go to that point, and then the problem is solved, but rather a dynamic equation based upon the number of people who want housing in Nashville and the number of units that we have available at each price point. This is the challenge that Mayor Briley and MDHA, the Barnes Fund, and many of you in this audience are looking to address. So given that context, what is under one roof 2029? So as a side note, for those of you who are history buffs in the audience, 2029 is the 250th anniversary of Nashville's founding. It's also 10 years from now. And so as Mayor Briley laid out this plan, it's essentially, where do we want to be in 10 years? Where do we want to be at the city's 250th anniversary? And so there are three components to the plan. The first, as Jim talked about earlier, MDHA began the conversion from public housing to RAD and began the Envision process that he'll talk about in more detail 4 or 5 years ago. And that process was moving forward. But Mayor Briley said, look, this is so important. In fact, potentially the most important thing that will happen in our city over the next 10 years, the city should invest in that process to speed it up, but also to increase the amount of affordable housing that's created by it. Second, and so there is a commitment of $35 million a year out of the capital spending plan to MDHA to accelerate the Envision process. Second, the Barnes Fund. Raise your hand if you've applied for the Barnes Fund or have a project through the Barnes Fund, know about the Barnes Fund. All right, there are quite a few hands that went up. A really great program that has been incredibly successful. The Barnes Fund has received to date $28 million in funding. That was actually before the $9.8 million grant round that was just announced a couple of months ago. But that $28 million has gone to create or preserve 1,306 units of affordable housing. And as those of you who have applied or worked with the Barnes Fund know, it's really gap financing for nonprofit affordable housing developers. It's been very successful. And so the second component is to increase and ramp up the Barnes Fund to $15 million a year over the next 10 years for $150 million. So together, that's $500 million of city commitment. $35 million a year out of the capital spending plan, $15 million a year out of the operating fund to support the construction and preservation of affordable housing. The third component is $250 million commitment from the private sector. And we'll talk a little bit more about that, but Mayor Briley thought it was very important that this is not a government problem alone to address. MDHA provides about 8% of the housing units through vouchers and through the owned and operated units. So if we want to address housing, we have to work with the other 92% of the housing in Davidson County, which comes from the private sector, from folks like you creating housing. So the housing, this slide is actually helpful for a couple reasons, although it may be a little bit too hard to see from the back of the room. but it provides what the income levels are at each one of these segments and addresses who's creating housing under this plan at each one of the income levels. At a different income level, you have a different solution to address that. The private sector, you can't provide enough grants for it to make sense for the private sector to provide housing for someone making less than 30% of median household income. That is the responsibility of MDHA, the responsibility of our government, because the economics just don't pencil at that level. But you can see MDHA, through the mixed income neighborhoods, is providing housing across each of these levels. The private sector stepping up, homeless services, and the Barnes Fund primarily addressing housing for folks making between 30 and 80% of median household income. So Mr. Harbison will get into more detail on this, but these are the 6 properties that are part of the Envision process. It's strategically positioned around the city, really attractive development opportunities. So the Envision process itself did not initially envision providing any additional units of deeply affordable HUD subsidized housing. It was to replace the existing housing and then add moderate income and market rate housing on top of that. But the mayor's investment, the city's proposed investment, would create 1,000 additional units of HUD subsidized housing. 1,000 additional units for folks making certainly less than 50, but in most cases less than 30% of median household income. This is through some technical HUD speak, which I'll skip over given the time constraints, but essentially HUD has agreed if we build those units, they'll give us the monthly subsidy for them. The Barnes Fund we've talked about, primarily targeting folks making between 30 and 80. It's a mix of rental and for sale product. This group is best positioned to address the third component, which is the private capital. And this is not just we're asking you to do it, but we want to partner with you. And so we would invite this group to come and meet with us, to talk with us. Hey, look, I'd love to provide some affordable housing, but my property taxes are just too high. The numbers don't pencil in this development. Is there anything that you can do to work with us on that? Or the infrastructure costs make it so steep that I cannot make the numbers work. I can't attract investors if there's affordable housing as a component of this. The financing is too complex. We know that there are a variety of hurdles. We face them every day, and we want to work with you to help address them. But there are some specific areas that we're working on right now. First, to attract philanthropic giving. There are many companies and individuals who have spoken with us who want to give money to help address this challenge. And so we're creating a vehicle to help do that. Second, there are REITs out there, both locally and nationally, that invest in affordable housing. We're working to attract them to invest here. And third, projects like the one Hunter talked about. We want to figure out the ways to make more of those happen more quickly in Davidson County in order to accelerate the pace of private development. And so we challenge each of you to figure out what you will do to help fill this gap. So with that, I'm going to turn it and these are the reasons that under one roof matters. Pretty straightforward. We need affordable housing. It's a huge challenge. It's critical to the quality of life of all Nashvillians and certainly worthy of a public investment in the quality of life for Nashvillians across the economic spectrum. With that, I'll turn it back over to Mr. Harbison.
Thank you. We've got a lot of slides, so we're going to move pretty quickly, and I'll try to focus on the ones that pertain most to the audience. This is what we do. I think everybody knows what MDHA does, but we are responsible for 13,500 families in affordable housing, and we're the developers of the city and run things like the redevelopment district and TIF. These are our 4 big buckets. We're not going to talk about 3 of them: rental assistance, the urban development, or the community development piece. We're going to focus on our sticks and bricks, the affordable housing piece, and those properties you've already seen. So this is what the board's guidance to me is, and I've got some key things here that are important to understand what we're doing. The first is I am tasked to grow and increase affordable housing in Nashville in a very specific way without displacing residents. That makes it really hard, so I get often charged with I'm not moving fast enough. We have not displaced a resident off an MDHA property at all. Now, why does that matter? As you know, to build, you have to tear down. People live in the places that are being torn down. So we're intentionally holding units open As people naturally move out of our properties, they move on and get a house somewhere else, they get a voucher, they leave the apartment, we leave it open. When it comes time to clear an entire block, we move them to the vacancies, or we build in the open places. It's a Rubik's Cube and a little bit painful for our property management team, but that's how we're doing it. That saves us from doing what you've seen in the other two major cities that have done this portfolio conversion on a RAD, where they issued vouchers and all the residents were displaced. Second, we are not building back concentrated poverty. We can have a philosophical discussion on that, but we are going to build mixed income. So the old sites, the classic World War II brick, veneer, poured concrete wall sites are coming down. They're being replaced by sites like Kirkpatrick Park, which you'll see shortly. We just leased up the first phase in mixed income. Apartment A is someone of low income that used to live in public housing. Apartment B is a school teacher, firefighter, someone of moderate income, and right next door, apartment C is what the market will bear. We believe from the sites we have, because of location, will be successful. The evidence in the market studies support that. Our first one is leasing up now, Kirkpatrick Park. Please come visit if you get a chance. We'll go through the rest of them, but the other ones, it has changed mainly. We are developers, so much of our multifamily we have been the self-developer for, to keep those development fees in-house. That is changing because of the scope of this program, which I hope will catch your attention. We'll finish with the big one that'll be coming up this fall with our industry requests for information. They'll be coming up probably in October. Okay, so there's 6 sites here in Nashville, all built between 1937 and 1961. They are long past shelf life. They are maintained pretty well, but capital needs need to be addressed, and they exist. You know where Cayce is. As you come off the interstate, you'll see the construction underway. Sudekum, Napier in the WeHo area, which this community should be familiar with. Edgehill, 12 South on one end, the Gulch on the other. Andrew Jackson, immediate adjacent to Fisk. Cheatham Place in Germantown, and Cumberland View next to North Precinct in North Nashville. All of those are in the Envision program. 3 of those have gone through the Envision process. Now we've coined this phrase to base a community-based planning process that takes about 18 months. As any of the architects in this audience and developers know, you can come up with a master plan pretty quickly. We could do our master planning with great architects in 90 to 120 days and have an off-the-shelf product, and we would get crucified in public. So we have worked really hard for it takes about 18 months. There are architects in the room that have been teamed with us, that we hire the architect, we hire a constructor to give it estimates, we have a community advisory group, we have public meetings every month, we have a resident association supporting us, and each of these sites has a lengthy process that leads to a master plan. Our first one was Envision Cayce. We'll cover that in a moment. Where are we on the envisioning planning process? Cayce is complete under construction. Napier Sudekum is complete. It is in planning and zoning. Edgehill is complete. We just started planning and zoning. We have Andrew Jackson, Cumberland View, and Cheatham left to master plan. We will be putting out RFPs to solicit supportive partners from the private sector to help us with the master planning of these sites, and you've seen the key locations. So I'm going to touch on Envision Cayce. That's been our focus. But if you're familiar with the Cayce area, the Titan Stadium is right over here. This is the Shelby corridor coming up Shelby. This is formerly CWA 1, CWA 2. That will be important to this audience. We bought the property here called Lenore Gardens, and the rest of this is the original public housing. This is the in-state development. At the top of the hill, there will be a new library and recreation center, a new school, which is under construction. The library and recreation center are financed. Then as you come around the outside of a central park, multifamily structures leading to townhomes to tie into the single-family homes on the outside. Our general construction process is to build starting here and work across this horseshoe because we have a significant watershed challenge to put in on this side. A 108-inch pipe has to be run to the river. Probably in a level of detail that is beyond what is needed, but this is our phasing. Real quickly, Barrett Manor complete. Boscobel 1 you see from the interstate, 30 to 40% complete under construction. Boscobel 2 under construction. Boscobel 3, 9% LIHTC, breaks ground in about 2 weeks. Boscobel 3A will break ground later this fall. The Explorer School under construction. Kirkpatrick Park, 95% complete, leasing up. Financed, in addition, the library and the community center is financed, and Boscobel 4 we just submitted for another 9% LIHTC. So thus far, the backbone of our finances has been low-income housing tax credits and new market tax credits today with HUD insured loans. We will be putting out an RFP, and this is one I keep teasing you with. There'll be more detail in a moment, but this area together with this area, will be our major public-private development, where a private developer will be asked, as we did in the competition for Roland Mill Hill, in a competitive process, to develop this site, the gateway in the 5 Points on Shelby Avenue. Okay, so quickly I'm going to run through what our process is. Barrett Manor is complete and leased up. Why is it important? This is the first new fully subsidized apartments in Nashville in 50 years. To retain and get the 1,000 units of subsidy, we had to prove to HUD we could build it. So out of pocket, with a little bit of help from Metro, and mainly the cash we had in our cash reserves, we built this starting in 2016, demonstrating to HUD that we can build new construction and build new subsidized apartments. Sounds like housing geek stuff, but basically they have an allocation in their budget authority for more subsidy to our community, but unless you demonstrate through them that you can do it, they won't give it to you. So we finished this one, leased it up. It's really a very nice project. Kirkpatrick Park, we talked about. You'll see the numbers. Everybody knows Hunter G Studios. They're our architect. R.G. Anderson, the constructor, 90% construction. Here's a picture of where we are right now. The front townhomes are now occupied. So this phase is complete and occupied. This phase comes online in about a month, and the rest of it will be done by Labor Day. Explore School. So I glossed over it, and it's only of interest to this audience, but we are doing something that is not natural. And that sounds weird, doesn't it? Okay. So not an unnatural act per se, but if you can rent a $1,000 apartment, you tend to be in an apartment where everybody rents from $900 to $1,200 a month, right? If you can buy a $200,000 home, what's your subdivision look like? 175 to 250. People don't intentionally subjugate or segregate by income. It just happens. It's not because they're hard-hearted. We're talking about putting people of very high income right next door to someone of very low income with somebody middle income on the other side. That doesn't happen naturally, and it has failed in other places in the community, in the country. The model for this is purpose-built, East Lake in Atlanta, and there's some key lessons learned. You have to have the amenities to support people coming together, the first of which is a great school. So we took a little heat in public, but we are financing and building the Explore School for the Martha O'Brien community. They are going to rent it from us for 7 years to the tax credit compliance period and then buy it from us. We didn't want to get involved in the school business. I wasn't even interested in it. But you got to have a great school for everybody to send their kids to build a community. That's also the rationale for the community center and the new library. Explore School will open in mid-July for K through 4, first classes first week in August. The 5 through 8 will be completed later this year by Christmas. On to the first of our multifamily, Boscobel I. You see this from the interstate. Klein Sweeney, our architect, Hardaway Constructors. Here's where we are in construction presently. We're about 40% complete. Boscobel II, right across the street, a combination of townhomes and multifamily. Under construction, that's a little bit farther than that. Actually, the retaining wall and some of that's a little bit farther along, but that will open later this year. Boscobel III is a 9% LIHTC finance. This is the perspective. EOA, and I think Gary's out there. So EOA is our architect. R.G. Anderson, the constructor. Redwood Flax right next door is townhomes. We have not chosen our constructor yet, but that one will be getting underway this year. The Cayce Recreation Center and Library. Thank you, Metro Library, for partnering with us. Our architect is Gobble Hayes. I don't think we've picked the constructor yet. I'm looking at Buck. Did we just, American Constructors, we just picked that last board, that's right. This will be a very large 25,000 square foot library, and right now we're still working on scope, somewhere between 35 and 40,000 square foot recreation center. Boscobel IV, again, multifamily. Hunter's the architect. We've not chosen the constructor yet. That will start next year. Now let's go back to this slide, and I'll come back to the one before it. MDHA does not really have an interest in or desire to do mixed-use development. It'd be a one-off for us. Multifamily makes sense because we're going to repetitively do that a lot. But mixed use, no, we don't do shopping centers. In our master plan from the Envision process, this area is the multi-use site, which we anticipate will have a grocery, retail, and affordable housing on the second story, or something on that order. But we're going to look to the private sector to tell us what is the best and highest use of this site. And this site is in a redevelopment district already approved, and there is $30 million in tax incremental financing that we can't use at MDHA. We do not pay property taxes, essentially. We get a break on it. So since we don't have any increment, we can't take in TIF. So this will be a request for information and an industry-sponsored day sometime later this year, probably after we get through the electoral process. It will be on the order of Rolling Mill Hill, and we believe this will be a beautiful opportunity for us to find out what the private community can do with us in partnership. We've done a little bit of massing, so if you had the idea, that's the corner of Shelby and 5th, which now has the low-income CWA 1 and 2 on it. We just did some basic massing exercises to get an idea of what would go in there for parking and retail, but a beautiful view of downtown, a great opportunity for the hard corner for a grocery as you lead into Shelby. And just, I'll hit the highlight one more time. So if you drive off the interstate, you're coming off the interstate right here, you hit that corner, it's these properties in this area and this in the back. And the reason this in the back is being offered is we have to do tenant relocation to take care of the tenants. So we think we build here first, move tenants out to here, and then turn the developer loose. But that's all just conceptual, and we look forward to hear from industry and what the possibilities are. Along the lines of bringing the 1,000 units in, we are working with HUD to short circuit the bureaucratic process of bringing apartments into the public housing inventory and then flipping them to RAD and to short circuit that in one streamlined operation. Nobody else in the country is talking about this. You'd only get this if you're a big housing geek, but this is pretty revolutionary because it takes out 5 steps of bureaucracy to move straight to subsidy in a more modern project-based rental assistance way. Our demonstration project is right next to Kroger's there in Germantown at the Randy Rogers site at Cheatham. On to Envision Napier Sudekum. That planning is complete. We anticipate the zoning to be complete. Our first step will be there next year. And once the master plan is out and we've got it approved, we can talk more cogently with developers and how we develop it. But the entire strip on Lafayette will be retail. And we own frontage on about 2/3 of that on the housing site. That's the final master plan. Just to highlight, this is Lafayette. We own this. We own that. We are hoping to get help here because there's some private companies that own this right now. But we would develop retail and mixed use along the street. And again, in our model, we will probably not be pursuing that ourselves. We'll be seeking a private development partner. On to Edgehill. We've completed that planning. We started the rezoning process. We actually start here this month. We've had a lot of community meetings, a lot of community input, lots of design charrettes. I think a great team here. The thing about Edgehill that's a little bit unique, the tower will remain in place. If you're familiar there across from Operation Stand Down, the tower for Gurnett Towers will remain in place, and the rest of the development will grow around it. So this is our concept drawing up for zoning right now. For just to orient the audience, that's Operation Stand Down right here. Here's Edgehill. Here's 12 South. Gurnett Tower remain. We anticipate the cottages will remain about the same. This will be mixed-use development along the street, mixed-use development of the street with retail, with affordable housing above, and affordable housing built in the areas where the old housing is presently. And I want to finish with just a couple of points. We are in the crawl phase of working with private developers. It's just not something that's been in our DNA previously. We're changing. I know Ted's out there somewhere. There he is. Ted's here. Tony must be sailing, I guess. Okay, yeah. So summertime, you can't get him in a meeting, right? I want to thank Giantana LLC for their participation in what is a great and noble project. They put their developer fee on the table. They are the developers of a thing called Curb Victory Hall. You probably saw, if you watched TV, it was we had the groundbreaking about a month ago. This is a very unique partnership. The private developers running the show. We went and got 9% LIHTC credits from THDA, a great partner. They also provided $500,000 in a trust fund donation. Mr. Mike Kerb generously donated $500,000, and this will be 39 apartments, 37 of which dedicated to homeless vets, 2 for the staff to support them. It's coming out of the ground. It's a real project, but more importantly for us, it's our first work where we step back and basically only have like an owner's rep, and the developer takes the ball and runs with it. And it's working very well. It's a good model for us, and we intend to replicate that writ large. This is a $7 million project. Obviously, what we're going to do on the Shelby corridor is going to be in the order of several $100 million. But we're testing this one to make sure we work out our own processes internally so we know how to partner better with the private world. Very innovative. We've got the feds in. We've got us. We've got Tony and Ted, of course, who does most of the work for Tony, I might add. I'm kidding. I'll deny that when I see Tony next. And Operation Stand Down, whom I don't want to gloss over, they will provide the supportive services. It's their land, and they gave us a 99-year ground lease. So that was a quick once over the world. Our target, I'm about 5 minutes over the target. Just want to come back to, it's a great opportunity for all of us. We have had a big win. We've gotten the land. As developers, you can understand first rule of thumb, secure your land. We're doing asset management 101, taking debt on those properties that we don't think will recapitalize, like John Henry Hale on Charlotte. We cashed out with a HUD-insured loan for $20 million. We're using that cash to close our deals at Cayce. So we're making progress, but without the support of the city, it is a long marathon. We're going to get there, but a long marathon. With the support of the city, as we develop where those $35 million, we'll be able to leverage $35 million to about $70 million to $80 million in project value. Where those will go, we'll have to work out. When we just came up in March, where they'll go in the future, we'll have to determine, but there'll be a great opportunity for all of us to work together. So everyone's awake. In the absence of coffee, thank you. You know, death by PowerPoint's always tough on a Friday morning, and we are happy to take your questions. Yes, ma'am. Well, it's a total project budget, so we have all the soft and hard costs in a normal project. I didn't have time to get. Our Envision process has 3 parts: people, neighborhood, and then housing. So, for example, at Sudekum Napier, our first project is not bricks and mortar. We're providing $500,000 from our project development budget to bridge the digital divide for all the school children at Napier Elementary. They will get a laptop to those families that live in Napier housing. They'll get free high-speed internet service, so instead of doing their homework on a handheld, they'll actually have a laptop, because that's what came out of the community planning process. We don't have time to cover everything, but there are 3 components in there, so we have the neighborhood, the people, and housing's included. Was either great? Oh, good. Glad somebody asked a question. I was getting worried.
So a lot of RAD projects are done through what's called project-based bonds, where essentially you bring in a bank like Citigroup, which underwrites the bonds for the projects, and that they syndicate those bonds, and those bonds never go on our balance sheet. Currently, we're proposing municipal bonds, and I wanted to ask why we're doing municipal bonds instead of project-based bonds. I know this is complicated, but if you separate it out phase by phase, I think it's doable. And I hate for this to go on our bottom line, and I'd like to make sure the projects are good projects.
Well, I won't talk to general obligation bonds of the city. I'll leave that to Matt. MDHA's junk bond rated. I can't get a bond. It's that simple. To get those bonds, you have to have demonstrated revenue over a period of time of audited financials. In the public housing model, the way the finances are constructed, it's impossible. You can't demonstrate it because the feds own the money. They only give it to you 1 year at a time, usually late after the budget process has gone through a gauntlet and continuing resolutions. You don't get your money, you have 6 months left in the year, and you have to spend all of it in 6 months. So it looks really inefficient, and you can't predict what your revenues are over time. Now, the project-based rental assistance model is a 20-year model where the funding is continuous. We think we get 3 years of audited financials under our belt, we can maybe pursue a bond issuance. But presently, we can't. They won't issue a bond to us. So we tried. If you want to talk with the general obligation bond process in the city is very established, and I think there's lots of metrics on it, and we applaud and thank the mayor and the council in the future for supporting this. But that was the best source for the funds. Okay. Yes, sir.
Maybe a little bit easier question than that one. Timing of the CWA?
We'll put out a request for information probably in October. where our approach is going to be, which is, again, it's what we've learned from working with private developers in a much smaller project, and we've wrestled with this one a lot. We were going to put out an RFQ and kind of tell you how to suck eggs, frankly, and then we were counseled by very smart developers. That's stupid. Don't do that. Ask them what they can do with the project. So we're going to put out a request for information, have an industry day, put out the constraints that we know of that we have that will bind all of us, and ask for information. And we'll ask for a response to the information, and that will include whatever proposals might be on financing, whatever. I mean, you're the experts, right? So we shouldn't be trying to tell you how to do your business. So we're going to throw it out there, see what comes out of the request for information, coalesce those. And there was just, if you know, Aole Ansari, he's our development committee chairman, a very skilled gentleman, cut his teeth in Actus, and he works for somebody else now, I guess, but he's a skilled developer. He'll help the chair, he'll be the chair of it, and we'll evaluate those, and from the information gleaned, we'll put out a request for qualifications to bring in a private developer. We anticipate that'll happen sometime in the spring of 2020. And then whatever results from that, we're off to the races. Yes, sir.
I may have missed it, and this may be more of a question for Matt, but are there incentives or plans for the private tax credit developers outside of, I see what you're doing inside of, and I know because we do it, but I mean, are there for the other developers who are outside of the MDHA process?
Okay, so I heard tax credit. If you're talking LIHTC, of course, there's a LIHTC payment in lieu of taxes program. Great program, runs very well. So if you're a LIHTC, if you do LIHTC in the state of Tennessee, we're the only state out of 50 in the whole country that taxes the leasehold value of a LIHTC tax credit, which is profoundly unwise. And the Tennessee Housing Development Agency has been working for years to try to change that. Great effort, but no success. So we crafted here in Davidson County a payment in lieu of taxes program that we administer for the council, where you come to us. I know Wilmington's done it. Others have done this. It's a very successful program. We are working on, but mainly in conjunction with this bond we have with the city, of a possible affordable housing pilot that would be similar. And it's not past the conceptual phase, because again, we're just 90 days in from the March announcement. But with some of us, I know Wood Caldwell, if he's here, he's brought this to me. I think you and I talked about it a couple times. But the idea would be, and there's some danger to it, if you have existing units and you have your audited financials, you know what your price points are. You choose, you pick 5 units, you take them down to a workforce rent. That's a haircut you got to take in your gross and your NOI. And then we at MDHA, who already underwrite the ITEC, or another agency, someone else, there are other choices, IDBs, other things. We have to find out which one does it best. They would underwrite and issue a payment in lieu of taxes to make you whole. That's the concept. Now, there's some challenges. First of all, that's real tax money, right? That's your tax base. So the council would have to approve it as they do the current LIHTCs on a case-by-case basis. And then if you're a new developer bringing it in, of course, that's future tax revenue, so it's a little bit easier. That's the concept. It has been embraced with vigor, I would say, and there's a team working on it. Don't know what the details are going to be, but that's the idea. And that would bring in the private world in a real way, keeping your revenues and your profit margins whole, while the city subsidized that through a payment in lieu of taxes. Obviously, it's going to be easier for new construction. It's going to be riskier because everybody sees the budget. I mean, I'm not into that, but there's a whole budget fight that always goes on, and you're going to be really cautious about hitting your gross revenues as a city, but that would be a possibility as well. Both those are being discussed and researched now. Did that answer your question? Okay. Yes, sir. Hey, hi, how are you? You talk about Edgehill.
Are
20% is our target. MDHA's, we report to the Fed. We have federal requirements. So our federal oversight from HUD's very intrusive, very specific. We hit 46% last year, Buck, right? For DBE, and for African American was 22, something like that. So I can get those numbers. It's a matter of public record. But so we've done pretty well at that, but the target is 20% for all these projects. And our performance level supports that. Well, yes, right. So I think, but I'm not going to change the city's goal. I don't have any, no, that's not my role, so, okay, yeah. All right, well, I could have talked a lot more. I mean, didn't have as many questions as we thought. Thanks for your time. Please participate. Thanks.
That was right at 55 minutes. So first power hour, that was great. Thank you everyone for coming. Thank you for MDHA. UOI is very grateful to have a partner who's willing to come share so much information. So thank you. Enjoy.
This has been a service of the Metro Nashville Network. If you would like to see this presentation again, or for more information about this and other programs, visit nashville.gov.